All right. We live here? All right. I think we're live. All right. Yeah, we're live. We're live. All right. Jesus. All right. Here we go. So I was just gonna still trying to work out the damn audio. I think it's just the damn shed. I think it's just the fact that it's very echoey in here. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I was in the middle of just recording a video, thinking maybe it had something to do with going live, but I don't believe it does. So today's going to be quick, as quick as I could do it. My son's got pink eye, and none of us slept real well last night, and so I just got to try to get this lift in and then go help. So to my wife. So today, uh, the goal here is just a heavy, kind of a test. See where my bench press is at right now. So I talked about it a little bit over the last couple streams, but not been benching heavy uh, for the last probably 8 weeks. So I need to get my body kind of used to it again. See where I'm at right now. So I felt pretty. 185 should feel pretty good, frankly, but should feel easy. I felt pretty solid, actually. I thought it would go a little worse than that, but I got the mic up under my beard right now, so we'll see how well it all goes. So I'm turning off all the fans, aside from this little one, because hell, I need something. So if I can, I'm warmed up enough. I think we'll probably go in. Maybe I'll do a double or a triple here at 225. But the plan for today is to kind of see where I'm at, so I can kind of set my programming up from there. So I'm just gonna not. I'm gonna just do some heavy singles, see where I'm at, and that's. Now I'm not gonna take percentages. I'm not gonna take percentages based on how I do today for for my programming moving forward. So that's not exactly why I'm doing it today. Uh, Really, it's just I need to figure out where I'm at. So, I'm going to work up to as close to 300 as I can today. But likely, as far as 3x5, which is where I'll start with on Monday, or excuse me, so Mondays are going to be my volume day, so I usually hit close grip on those. At least that's what I plan on doing for the next several weeks. And then my heavy day will be on Fridays. And I couldn't get to it yesterday. My son's got pink eye. He's not quite 3, so he's struggling. I couldn't get it done yesterday. But generally speaking, my heavy bench day will be on Friday. And so what I'll start off with, I'll rebuild my 3x5s on Fridays, heavy. But today, because I don't have as much time today, and because I want to just get an idea of where I'm at, generally, though, your singles are not necessarily a good, like I said, I'm not going to do a percentage and then go from there. I know my own training well enough. I know for the most part where I'm likely at. So the 3x5s on next Friday will probably start around 230, 240. And then I'll build up 5 pounds at a time, or maybe a little more than that. That'll be really how I gauge the programming moving forward. Today is somewhat of a fun, kind of get back into the idea of pushing heavy. We'll see double or triple here, we'll see how it feels. Yeah, that felt kind of terrible, actually. It felt heavier than I would have liked it to. Ah, man. The shoulder's acting weird. That felt... See, I've got no pain in my left shoulder, but boy, that felt... it really felt like I just had nothing to give on that one. Maybe just get my head in the game here. But certainly running low on sleep. Let me take this fucking thing off. Running low on sleep. Generally a bit stressed out because of my son being sick. And if any of you watching have kids, it's tough when they're sick, man. It's tough when they're sick. Sad new, hey boys, or well, I assume Matt's a boy. Sad new, maybe not, but either way, thanks for joining the chat. How you guys doing today? I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I've got the got a knee sleeve on today, which I don't usually do. I usually don't mess with it, put anything over it, but I'm gonna see if that helps get a little bit better, just a little more stability. Depending on what you're doing, there's multiple ways to deal with something, but when I bench, the way I would teach someone and coach someone to bench, we're going to use our legs, we're going to use our leg drive. We want to try to keep our ass on the ground, but we want a nice, strong platform to be pushing from, and leg drive helps that. Now there are reasons you might take the legs out, and fair enough. But for me, most of the time, I want my legs driving to help keep my base nice and rigid, and good power transfer through the body and such. And that's been, it's been hit and miss, man, after the accident, after losing the leg. My knee is so jacked up. And just a general, you lose that connection when you can't feel the floor with your feet. Now I can feel the floor. I can feel the floor. Uh, so it's not so much that I can't feel that I'm touching, but it's like walking on a still. You know you're on the ground, but you've got no like superficial surface level feeling or anything. So you know it can be hard to get the brain to drive the feet like you want. Yeah, that was pretty good. Man, I like it. So I'll probably do, so for those that might have just, so I'm just doing singles today, working up, kind of seeing where I'm at. A lot of it's time. I just don't have quite the time. Zara, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? But like I was saying a bit ago, so the kids, my son is sick. Pink eye for someone that's 2.5, man, is brutal. Absolutely brutal. He can't, he doesn't know not to be touching his face. So yeah, it's a little bit tough. Let's see if I can get this a little bit better. But so there, in the people often don't take into account the stress that is not coming from the gym, right? So it's like, excuse me. So I did X, Y, and Z on Monday. I know based on my prior training that I'll be able to be recovered for X, Y, and Z on Wednesday, yada, yada, yada. But if you don't take into account all the other life factors, your job, your marriage or relationship, children, who knows, whatever matters to you, whatever things stand out to you, generally speaking, if you don't take those things into account as other things that add stress to you, you can kind of miss out on, kind of mess up some of your programming by not factoring that stuff in. And so the obvious ones, not sleeping or eating very well, it's going to factor into your recovery. But your kid's sick, your wife's sick, she going on at work, maybe your manager sucks, whatever the case, all of that plays a role. And so it's important to kind of always, so like today I know I did not sleep well, my son's sick, so that's always in the back of my mind. I'm in a bit of a hurry right now because he'll be up from his nap here in a little while. I want to get back in, help my wife, because we've also got a 4-year-old to contend with as well, and she doesn't slow down just because Bubba's sick, right? So there's a lot of stuff you got to take in. So, and training is such a long game. I mean, people really, especially new and younger guys in particular, want to hit it hard and get after it fast, and that's excellent. Hey X, thanks. But the reality is that you're running a marathon when you're talking about training, and each session, while consistency is important, each session is really a kind of a drop in the bucket. And so while you want to be consistent, you want to be disciplined and hit your training without missing. Being a little more flexible, and a lot of this comes with experience from programming, not just yourself but others. But I mean the comfort and confidence you have in being a little bit more flexible in the programming so that you can account for that stress outside of the gym. You know, it's important to take all that into account because going a little lighter or changing things up one day to kind of help with the stress and also help with whatever requirements you've got outside of the gym. It's really not, it's not the end of the world, you know? And it's actually probably far better than just running yourself into the ground, trying to not make any kind of adjustments ever, right? All right, another signal here. Excuse the language, by the way. Sometimes that's hard for me to, so I definitely have that this is not kid friendly, but my intention is not to be cursing like crazy. So if you're just joining today, if you're watching right now and haven't watched yet before, this is kind of just a training log to some degree. So, and for those of you that have heard this already, if you've come back to watch again, which I don't know how likely that is, but anyhow, basically just a training log for the most part. I'm already going to be training. This is nice for me to kind of record all my training that I can go back and look at, and I let YouTube hold all the data so I don't have to keep my phone burdened with a bunch of videos. And I'm a starting strength coach, so I like this opportunity to talk about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and so on and so forth. And anyone that wants to jump in the chat with questions or whatever, and if I've got an answer, I'll give it. If I don't, I'll tell you I don't know. But I run an online coaching business, so if you, family, friends, anybody's interested in some online coaching, definitely check me out. Emails in the page description, brucetrout.barbellclub.com. But this is just a training log, so it's not particularly fun. And so I'm kind of going to just riff, kind of talk to myself, think out loud, and then shoot the breeze with any kind of chats should someone want to ask a question or throw out a comment of any kind. But I'm a somewhat boring dude, to be honest, so we'll work up today as close to 300 as we can get. I don't see myself getting there today. That's just the way it feels right now. We'll see. We'll see. In my experience, the worse you feel, the worse you think you'll do, the better you end up doing. Certainly compared to thinking you're going to do awesome. In my experience, it seems like the more confident, the more amped, the more sure that you are that you're going to have an awesome day in the gym, it seems like the more likely you have a shit day, you know what I mean? And then the more you think you're not going to do well and you're going to struggle and it's going to be whatever, I oftentimes see those days being the most productive training days, which is a strange, my thought is that the harder you think something's going to be, the less it catches you off guard when it is in fact hard, right? And so everything we're doing here is hard. So if you don't think it's going to be that hard, the reality is it's going to be, whether you think it is or not. So when you think it's not going to be too bad, you tend to get yourself caught off guard, and then things don't go well for you. But that's all right. We'll work up to 300. We'll get 45. Yeah. All right. So 265. So we're at 265, and so I'm a 5'3", maybe 5'2.5" or something like that. Sure, it doesn't really matter if I'm 5'2" or 5'3". Right now, weighing at about 136 pounds. So small. I'm a small guy. Now some of that weight is a little deceptive because I'm missing half my leg. So with the leg intact, blood, bone, skin, yada yada, I'd say 12 pounds or so, maybe you could add to that. So I'm probably, from a build, skeletal muscle mass, from the build perspective, I probably, with both legs, would be walking around closer to 150. Which was about the heaviest I ever got. Actually, that's not true. I got up to 148 with after I lost my leg. So I guess with two legs there, I'm probably walking around 160. Anyway, at 5'2", my frame is pretty small, obviously. So, but I'll tell you, life of a dad with two young kids and trying to run a business, and frankly not really knowing how to run a business, and trying to do all these things and yard work and different projects that my wife wants me to do. I certainly do not eat the way that I should. And by that I mean I don't eat enough, for crying out loud. I mean, Jesus, I'm a guy that's lucky in I don't really put on weight real easily. So I mean, aesthetically speaking, I look pretty good as far as cut up, whatever. It's really nothing for me to brag about because it's really just genetics. So it's hard for me though to put on weight, which it's always grass is greener on the other side type deal. A lot of people that can't put on weight would rather be in my shoes, and a lot of times I'd rather be in theirs. All right. So that felt a little better. I'm still struggling to get some drive out of this left leg. Still, which translates to, I think, seems to translate to a poor transfer of force into this left side just a little, where I'm not quite stable. Frustrating. All right, so we got 265. We'll see how this goes. I think I'll get there. Might just be a little ugly. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so 310's my max. I did that though before I hurt my shoulder last year. So it's been probably about a year since I hit 310. I did that at about 142 or so, 144. Something like that. So it's great. I mean, for my size, that's all good stuff, for sure. So we'll do, let's see. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a burnout. So I don't expect to get much out of it, but drop it down to 225. So this is just kind of trying to get some extra stress. I don't have today was really just about getting some heavy singles to kind of see where my force production ability is. And it kind of go from there. Use the timer. So I'll do AMRAP 225, which I think the most I've ever done is 11. I can't imagine I'll get that today. I feel like I'll be happy to get 5 or 6 today, frankly. And then minimal rest. I'll drop it down to 135 and do a burnout. And so, an AMRAP. So this is not how I would typically train. This is kind of a weird one-off session right now, in that I don't typically do any kind of like burnout sets at the end and what have you. Not that there's necessarily anything wrong with that. There's a time and place for most of this stuff, frankly, you know. But right now, I'd like to be able to get back up to a set of three at 275, 285, which I was doing just a few months ago, really, 4 or 5 months ago. So a lot of it is just efficiency, neurological efficiency, and just recruiting the calling on the body to do hard stuff when I wanted to do hard stuff, which takes some practice. And I'm a little out of practice, a little out of conditioning and such. But so we'll see. Hopefully by the end of August, I'm back up to there. And then once I'm back up into those ranges that I know for sure are kind of getting close to my potential. That is without putting on some substantial weight, which I'm not opposed to. Just I'm an idiot. I don't do it. I don't need enough. Then after the heavy work, some AMRAP or some other things. Also working in some accessory work, tricep work, or whatever the case. Whatever the case is. But those watching, 11, nice. Like, subscribe, share if you think anybody else might want to watch it. You know, one thing is, I did have someone tell me this is my content is really good for when you are looking to go to sleep. And frankly, I don't have any problem with that. So we'll do AMRAP here. And because I know the safeties, I know that they're set up properly, I'm going to run it out until I literally can't do any more. And then ever so slightly set it down on the pins. So, you know, that's definitely one thing when you're training alone, and even if you're not training alone, frankly, because if you have someone spotting you on the bench and it were to, should your wrists buckle and you drop the bar, they're not catching the bar. So even with a spotter, you really want to get safety set up, know that they're set up. So if you're doing your benching, get the arch in the back, a little bit of arch in the back. Ideally, when you deflate that chest, you know, so if you for whatever reason, you'll kind of see, when I'm set up, I'm not hitting the safeties with the bar when I'm bench pressing. But should it stall out and fail, which will inevitably happen right now because I'm going to do an AMRAP, just deflating allows the safeties to rise as my chest lowers. And so even though I'm not hitting the safeties during the bench press, when I let the chest come down and I let the back flatten back out, there the safeties are. And so I'm at no real risk of the bar falling on me. So when you're doing stuff like this, and especially when you're by yourself, but really anytime, make sure your safeties are set. Make sure you know exactly where they are and that they're good, that they're right where they should be, that there's no mistakes. Because this is the one thing really, I mean, it's not the only thing, but as far as free weights go, you know, so you're not using a Smith machine or whatever the hell, this is the thing that'll kill you, right? This lift will kill you, so you gotta be careful. All right, 225, kind of a burnout AMRAP. We'll see here. Hoping for 5 or 6. We'll see. All right, well, I got an ugly 7th there. So normally I would have let that hit the, I would have went to the one on the pins, but there's no way I was getting an 8th. And I don't really know that there's any point to trying for one there at the end on that one. The lemon was squeezed all the way, I think, on that one. So now I'll catch my breath just a little, not too long at all. And then I'll just crank out 135. And we'll see how many we get. I don't know, 10 would be nice. Although I'm pretty fucking worn out here. And actually, I'll probably do a more bodybuilder style here in the sense that very slow, controlled. You always want to be controlled, right? So I don't take that the wrong way, but I'm going to kind of overdo the eccentric, nice and slow and controlled, and then kind of burst through. Whereas I would be controlling the down on the bench press, I'm not necessarily trying to stop the weight at all. I'm saying, I'm pulling it into me. That's the mindset. But I'm not actively really trying to slow its descent any more than just a little. Gravity's going to do most of that work, but I'll be in control of some of it. With this, I want to be in a little more control than I might otherwise be. Ooh, one more here. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, thanks for watching my training log for the day. If you are interested in this content, this may be slightly above average content, like, subscribe, share if you'd like. If you're looking for coaching, form checks, one-off session, some programming help, anything strength training related, shoot me an email, brucetroutstrength@gmail.com, website brucetroutbarbellclub.com. For all your coaching needs, man. Follow me on Instagram, brucetrout_SSC. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you ever have questions or anything, send them in the chat, comment on here, and if I can answer them, I will. If I tell you I don't know, or if I don't know, then I'll tell you I don't know. But everyone have a good weekend, stay safe, train if you can. You should always be training. Bye.